Hi, I'm John Salustri, Content Director for ALM's Real Estate Media Group, and we're here in Denver for the annual ULI conference and tonight's Transwestern's reception. And I'm really happy to have two old friends with us, George Garfield and Chip Clarke, presidents both of Transwestern, George for the Western region and Chip for the Mountain and Gulf region. Guys, thanks for being with us. I really appreciate it. We'll start with you, George. Market conditions in your region, what do they look like now?
Well, multiple cities, so multiple answers. But just very briefly, LA is lagging behind San Francisco. Seattle is somewhat like San Francisco, and Phoenix is improving.
Terrific. Thank you. And Chip, what are you saying?
I'd say it's great, John. I'm in Houston, Texas, is where I live, but I oversee the Gulf Coast, which is Houston and Louisiana, and then the Mountain region, which is Colorado and Utah. And I'd say good news in both of our key markets, which are Houston and Denver. It's good to be in the energy industry. It's good to have a reliance on resource-based economy, and so we feel pretty bullish about what's going on right now. Job growth has been great in both of those markets.
George, talk to me a little bit, if you would, about the expansion that you guys have planned in the West.
Well, a lot of we've had it underway a long time, John, and this past year has been a prolific year for us. We've grown. We've added probably 30 people in the Bay Area, East San Francisco Bay, downtown San Francisco, San Jose. We've added probably 10 to 15 in Southern California, predominantly Irvine for Orange County, and then downtown Los Angeles. And then we opened Seattle up.
So, Chip, talk to me, please, about what you see happening for 2013.
Sure, John. We are optimistic. I think, arriving here in Denver, I think the mood is very positive. It's more positive than it's been in recent ULI gatherings. In Houston, our economy is adding jobs at the tune of about 90,000 jobs a year, and our historic average is about 40,000 jobs a year. So we're well above our historic average. Our supply was kept in check because of the capital markets crisis. So we feel very good about what's happening in Houston, Texas right now. And I would say a lot of those same factors, although not quite the bullish growth that we have in the Texas markets and in Houston in particular. In Denver here, they're adding jobs. They've added about 40,000 jobs in the last year. And so we've got great operations in both markets. Our business is deep and wide in both markets. So we're very excited about what the future holds.
Talking about the future, follow up for you. What worries you?
Well, you know me, John. I don't tend to get worried a lot because we try to focus on the positive. But in all seriousness, I think once we get the election behind us, and people know what the rules are, and there's uncertainty that is kind of lingering now. People are putting off decisions, I think, waiting for the election to get behind us. Once that's all settled, I feel pretty good about the underlying fundamentals. And so what really worries me is a world event, something that happens. You never know what's gonna happen day to day. But if we can just stay the course and people can start making longer-term decisions about hiring and expansion for their businesses, we feel very positive.
Except for the great unknown.
Except for the great unknown.
The great unknown. Right. Last question for you then, George. Tonight's the second of the three debates between the two presidential hopefuls. What's the general mood that you pick up with the election, looming closer and closer?
Well, I think it's a little bit like what Chip just said. I mean, but I would say that it depends geographically. I mean, San Francisco might have a different answer to your question than Los Angeles, as you might expect in other parts of the country. And so it will affect what's happening in different ways. For example, the tech industry in San Francisco, I don't know that it ultimately matters who wins either tonight's debate or who wins in a month. Right. That train has left the station. And it's having a positive impact on Southern California as well, which is an interesting kind of byproduct of the growth of the tech industry. Right. So I don't know at the end of the day that it's going to have an enormous impact. I mean, I see Southern California is starting to grow again, which is very positive. It has gone through several years of a really tough time. And if you look at the unemployment rate in Los Angeles, for example, almost 12%. In San Francisco, a little over 8%. Right. So pretty big gap. Right. Now, you saw a lot of employers leaving Los Angeles for the East Coast. Northrop Grumman, Nissan went to Tennessee, and a number of things. That's coming. The entertainment business was hammered. Right. Those things are coming back, and I expect the unemployment rate to come down in Los Angeles. Probably will continue to fall in San Francisco, but not dramatically.
Gentlemen, thank you both very much. It's always good to see you, and
Thanks, John.
Thanks for sharing your time.
John.
And thank you for joining us on Globe Street TV.